Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tammy Taylor, country girl from Pennsylvania, your Optavia certified health coach. I was thinking today about a few things, some of the struggles that some of my clients go through. And one of them is where we go so far and then we go back to the beginning. How many times have you done that? Have you quit on yourself? I've done that. And it's so frustrating because you feel really good in the beginning and then you're like going at it, and then you're like, you go backwards, you put your guard down, so to speak. Well, an interesting thing I was reading and I wanted to share was there are 5 stages to change. 5. There's probably a whole bunch of other changes, but these 5 today. It was really, really interesting because it brought out the number 1 was the uninformed optimism. Like when you are excited about your journey, you can see yourself in those jeans, you can see yourself at the beach, you can see yourself feeling good. You just are like ecstatic. The hormones, the dopamines, everything's going, woo, happy time. So that's 1. Then we go through the next stage 2 that is called informed pessimism. Ooh, not a good word. And what that is where you start at this point where the benefits don't seem as real. They don't seem like you're going to get there. They're not as important. You start finding reasons not to do what you're doing. You can feel that slip slide. You hear the mind chatter in the back of the head going, woo, here we go. Like I always fail. You start living from the other way, that kind of like you used to do, those kind of things. Then we have 3. Which even goes even deeper. And that is the Valley of Despair. Wow. That does not sound good. But it's the phase we go through. And this is where most people give up. I've seen that a lot where they've gone so far, they've been on it a month, they're doing really good, the birthday comes around, and then they start, or they just don't, maybe they lost a ½ pound instead of 1 pound, and they start talking to themselves. And they go into this valley of despair. It's the woe is me. We all do this. But there's a thing to this. The brain wants us to go back to the predictable side. Woo! The stage 1, where you're all happy. You're just starting over again. Start over again. We call that getting stuck in start. That can be addictive. It's truly addictive. So because it feels good, you're in a happy time. But a key thing, too, to remember is that to have change, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You cannot be sitting on the couch and thinking you're going to sit there forever, so to speak, and change is going to happen doing the same thing. It's not going to happen. You have to get uncomfortable to have change. And that brings us to number 4. So, and this one is... my eyes are bad. Informed optimism. This is where you start seeing some of the fruit of what you're doing. Like if you push through that little valley of despair and you keep going, you start seeing some things happening. You start seeing inches or things that you want to aim for, even if it's not even with your weight loss journey, if it's just in life in general. You start seeing little things happening. It's exciting. This is the key here, is not to stop, period. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going, because that brain's going to try to take you right back to predictable. I want you back there, the old habits, because that's where it feels safe. It's trying to protect you. And actually, it doesn't matter if it's a positive go backwards. It actually, it just wants you there. So that means we have to retrain the brain. And that's what, by working through these things, that's what we do, so that we stop going back to that predictable. Then we get to 5. And that one is the success and fulfillment, where the things that you were struggling with, maybe you started out and you think drinking 8 glasses of water is like, oh my gosh, that's too much. Or eating a salad or going to bed early to get enough sleep was just like out of your zone. Well, this part, step 5, is where you have those things don't seem as hard. They become easy. They become a habit. And then you start trying to make more changes. That way you keep moving and you're moving and you're moving. And that's living above the line. A lot of times what we do is we look at that stop point. We get to our goal, our weight goal, as being the end of the journey, and then we're great and all that kind of stuff. And that's not true. The greatness in the journey is in the journey. It's along the way. It's the things you learn about yourself. It's like, okay, I don't want to go around donuts because I'll eat them. I mean, that could be you. I love Mexican food, so I have to watch doing some of that. So that's where we have to really, really, really do this. One of these things that's vital to do is really to define your why and your want. That is vital in this. Before you start anything, you want to really have a clear vision as to what you really, really are working for, your ideal self. So if your ideal self walked in here and tapped you on the shoulder and said, hey, was it going to say, hey, good job? Or is it going to say, hey, what are you doing? You know, how does your ideal self look? How does it feel? What is it like? If 1 year from now, what do you want to be like? What do you want your life like? Then you start living there. You start thinking, okay, this is what I want to be. This is where I'm at. These are the action steps to get there. So this just isn't a fantasy, and we don't set up expectations that never come, and then we go back to predictable again. So you really, really, really want to put on them glasses and define your why and your want. Write it down, put it on your bathroom sink, put it in your car, in your purse, in your wallet, but get clear on what you want, because we all go through those stages of change. And when it gets to that little valley of despair, if you want to ride through that valley of despair, you want to have clarity as to where you want to go. Have an awesome day. I hope you enjoyed my little tip. Thought I would share something that I see a lot in all of us, actually, that I work with. So I thought I would do that. Have an awesome day and take care.